All right, so we use pH a lot of times, especially in the biological world and the programs that you'll be in. Like if you're MLT, you test for the pH of whether it's urine, whether it's blood, whatever. If you're in respiratory, this is a big deal. I mean, respiratory pH, acid levels, that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. This is a biologically very important situation. What does pH mean? We looked at how it's sort of calculated now, the numbers and the theory behind that is the negative sign and the concentrations and how much hydrogen and hydroxide is present. But what does the P stand for in pH? Anybody know? In case you're on Jeopardy, you need to know. Good guess. We know what the H stands for, right? What does H stand for? Hydrogen. Okay, that's an easy one. P's not so obvious. That's why I asked. I like how you just pull out chemical words, though. That's good. Anything else that begins with P that we've talked about? Percentage? Oh, that's a good one. That would be a good guess. Percentage hydrogen. But that means our answer would have to be in a percent, so that's probably not it. It's probably not something you'd think of. It's called potential. Potential hydrogen. It tells you in a solution how much potential it has to donate hydrogen ions to a situation. Okay? All right. How do you calculate pH? You're going to have to know how to do this. Okay? It's simple. This is where you're going to have your calculator. I'm going to show you how to do this. So if you have your calculator, get it out now, please. If you don't, then pay attention very carefully so that when it comes time for you to do this, you can hopefully remember how. Okay? Here is the equation that we're going to use. It's pretty straightforward. You'll hit one button on your calculator and it should take care of it for you. But we'll look and see. It depends on your calculator, but we'll look. pH, to calculate the pH, what you want to do is turn this concentration value that you have into a whole number, or not a whole number, but into a regular number. Not like times 10 to the minus something. You just want to give me a number between 0 and 14. That's what you're looking for. So basically, this is going to be easy. If you know, for example, that your concentration is 1 times 10 to the minus 2, if it was that perfect and the world worked like that, and your number that you got was 1 times 10 to the minus 2, guess what the pH is? 2. It's on the exponent. Okay? It's tricky. That's okay. I'm going to trick you here in a second. 1 times 10 to the minus 2 is pH of 2. Guess what 1 times 10 to the minus 4 is? pH of 4. 1 times 10 to the minus 14. What about 2.67 times 10 to the minus 3? Not so easy. You can't just use the exponent anymore. Okay? You've got to. If it was 1 in front of it, 1 times 10 to whatever, then we just use the exponent. But since it's not, we have something like that, which is what real life is. We never test anything with a perfect number, right? We have to be able to mathematically convert like that. Okay, and we do that by this equation. Our pH will be the negative log. In other words, you're turning your decimal number into that logarithmic big step like I was talking about. The negative log of the hydrogen ion concentration. So here's what you do. If you take, for example, let's do this one. Say your pH was 1. Okay. Oh no, we're calculating pH. Let's say our concentration of hydrogen was 0.1 molar. Okay? So if our concentration of hydrogen was 0.1 molar, and I ask, what is the pH of a 0.1 molar solution? How would you find that out? What you would do is type in, it depends on the order. Okay, this is one way you would do it. It depends on your calculator. On my calculator, I would type in 0.1 because that's the concentration of my hydrogen. Then I would hit the log button. It should say LOG. Right? What did you get for those of you who that worked for? You got a -1. Notice that in front of the log, there's a negative sign, right? Guess what that negative sign means? That means you take the negative of a negative, which is what? Positive. So if you have a solution that is concentrated at 0.1 molar, what's its pH? 1. Right? That's how you do it. So depending on your calculator, you may have to type in first the log button and then followed by the number. It just depends. Yeah, you can. But this is fewer buttons. You get confused. You can just get rid of the negative sign if you want to in your head. You can type it in if you want. Okay? Yes. Less buttons. See this? Where's your log button here? right here. So you would take, looks like you hit log first, log, and then it'll say parentheses. So we typed in 0.1, and then hit enter. It's -1. But you want the negative of that, right? Because it says negative log. So you could just hit, I mean, you could do it in your head, or you could just hit your positive negative button, which wherever that is, right here. And then, oops, well, you know what I mean. You just inverse the negative. All right? Easy enough, right? If you have, whatever your concentration is, you should be able to type it in your calculator. If you don't bring your calculator with you, good luck hand doing a logarithmic calculation. Okay? No, I'm not going to show you how to do that. The negative log of the hydrogen ion concentration gives you pH. All right? Now we can inverse that. If I ask you 0.1, if I said the pH was 0.1, turn that into a concentration. What concentration would that represent if I had a pH of 1? Well, what you would do is realize that by definition, you don't have to know this, but what a logarithm, the log of something is what 10 would have to be raised to, what power 10 would have to be raised to get your answer. Okay, that's what a logarithm is. So, for example, if I know the pH and I want to know the concentration, what I would do is if you find your log button, you should see right above it or next to it a button that has a number 10 raised to an exponent, like x or 10 to the x or whatever. It should be connected with your log button. Okay? What you would type in is the negative value of the pH. So in this case, we said it, what did I say, 1? So type in -1 and then hit that 10 to the x button. You may have to do a second mode or something like that to get to it. And you should get 0.1 as your answer. Did you? No, not E. E's a natural log. That's natural log. I want this one up here. Let's see. -1. Let's see. So it depends on the order. You may have to do it in a different order. 0.1 should be the answer. That's right. Did you get it? Yep. So you're gonna want to take the inverse of the log, which is 10 to the whatever, 10 to the x. Usually, it's like a second function of the log button. You should see it connected to it. You would type in your pH. You would either type in your pH first with the negative sign and then hit that button, or else you would hit that button first, then type your number in, the pH number in. It depends on your calculator. Okay? If you have trouble, ask somebody or ask me, but you don't want to miss points for not knowing how to use the calculator. Okay? That's crazy. If you're going to miss points, at least make it a good way to miss points.